Good morning. Cold and frosty. Very frosty. And I'm up early. Look at the trees. This is a pear tree. There's no pears on this tree. And this is that's a plum tree and an apple tree. So I'm up this early because I was out at the market and I've been buying fruit. There's no fruit in this garden at the moment, of course, but it's just wanted to show you that even when it's cold like this, well, not all the time, but I'm up early, going out and getting my fruit. So I wanted to show you a few things, because obviously people tell you that a raw food diet is very expensive and that buying fruits and vegetables are very expensive. This is approximately 100 bananas. It came in an 18 kilogram box like this, which is the standard size for bananas, at about 18.8 kilograms or something like that. And we have another 100 bananas here, supplied by Thomas O'Connell from the Glasgow Fruit Market. That's where you buy your bananas in Glasgow, from Thomas. Box of dates, 5 kilograms. That's the kind of boxes that dates come in often. And also persimmon. I've got more in the car, but that's 18 persimmons per tray. And there's also a box of 9 pineapple. I'll show you that. Big pineapple. And all eaten today. So I was doing a few calculations. I thought you might be interested, because I was thinking about the price and what I had bought, because one of the big objections to a raw food diet is that it's expensive. My answer to that is that it can be expensive, or it can be basically the cheapest diet you do. It just really depends on how you do it. But I'll show you what I've done today. Now, one of the big tips obviously in saving money is to find a wholesale market. This all came from Blochairn Market, which is just north of the centre of Glasgow, and anyone can go there. You're free to go. You don't need a card, you don't need permission, you don't need identity, you don't need any kind of license. You can turn up. You need to have a license, which is called the only thing that you do need to have with you is this license right here. It's called cash. And funnily enough, when if you provide cash, you don't really require a license very often to buy things. People are quite happy to take your cash off you. But anyway, yeah, they're happy to take your cash off you, and they'll give you the prices that they offer the people that own shops and things like that. But you do have to get there early. I recommend getting there on a weekday. Don't go at the weekend. On a weekday between 4 in the morning and maybe 9 or 10. But definitely get there early doors. Right, so what we're looking at is 100 bananas, which looks like that. What do you think I paid for that 100 bananas? What do you think? Well, today we got those bananas for £8. So let's do a few raw food calculations, because I got 100 bananas. That's my bad handwriting. 100 bananas in a box. Approximately 100 calories per banana. Calories is the unit of energy of food. If you don't understand what a calorie is, I'm sure you might do, but it's basically it's a measure of food energy, and that's what we use for energy, for our fuel. So 10,000 calories per box. So that's about 10,000 calories right there of food energy. So the 2 boxes is 20,000 calories. There's £8 is what I got those 2 boxes for. So those bananas and the other bananas in there, total of £8. which works out as per calorie 0.0004 pounds per calorie, or 0.04 pence per calorie. You could also say 4 pence per banana. So just to show you the saving that I made today by going to the market, you could be paying for 18 calories of bananas in the supermarkets between £19 and £35 realistically over the year, somewhere in that range. So that paying £4 per box saved me about £15 to £31 per box, which could be for the 2 boxes could be about £61, which could be over the year over £3,000 worth saved. If you get your bananas at the market, you could save up to £3,000 or £1,500 at the lower edge. So that's a pretty good saving. So that's just financial savings. So you can see there, the savings that is available if you go to the market could be at the very least £3,000 a year, which is pretty good. But that's not what I'm really wanting to focus on at the moment. I'm wanting to focus on the price for the whole diet, but that's 20,000 calories of food for £8. So that's not too bad. And as I say, per calorie 0.04 pence. We'll get all back to that, but let's see the other food. Persimmon. That's 18 per box, potentially 1800 calories, 100 calories per persimmon. It's a good sweet fruit again. I got those for £5 per box. So you can see the difference there in the price. Bananas are really always going to be the cheapest fruit, and apart from if you're foraging fruit. Anyway, £5 per box, 0.002 pounds per calorie. We'll get back to that, or 0.2 pence per calorie, and 20 pence per persimmon. So obviously it's more expensive, but once again a saving of maybe once again saving. It's probably about half price than what you'd pay in the shops, kind of thing. 7 boxes, 126 persimmons, about £35 for that. £35 exactly. 12,600 calories. The dates, 5 kilograms. I hope this isn't too boring for you, but follow these numbers and I'll get to it in a moment. 5 kilograms, 14,100 calories in that 5 kilogram box. So that's your most really concentrated source of calories. That one box is £25. You might think that's quite expensive compared to everything else, but once again that's probably would double if you were to buy that in the shops. Can be about £60 for a box at times if you were to go to the shops. Price per calorie 0.0018 or 0.17 pence. That's we'll get back to that, but anyway, that's another 14,000 calories. And then the pineapples, 550 for 9, so that's 4,500 calories, and the cost per calorie 0.12. So we'll get, as I say, we'll get back to that. But in total, I paid £73.50. So that's for the 2 boxes of bananas, 7 boxes of persimmons, 5 kilogram box of dates, and the 9 pineapples. And that's 51,200 calories. Potentially, because maybe I won't eat it all, maybe some of it will go bad, but we'll use this potential number, 51,200. Now, the average person needs somewhere between 1,800 and 2,500 calories per day. So each day you need about, that's for a man, that's for a woman, somewhere in that range. A lot of people that are athletes will say they want to eat more than that. A lot of raw food people will want to eat more than that. But let's use these kind of average ranges for the average person that's not doing a lot of exercise. That ends up per week that the average is somewhere between 12,600 and 17,500 per week. Now, I hope this isn't getting boring for you, but this is this is just some numbers I was going through. I thought it might be interesting, but just follow me for now. So you can see how many calories are required per week. And I've just bought 51,000 calories for £73. So let's have a look. That works out 2.9 weeks worth of food for £73.50. £73.50 US dollars, Australian dollars, Canadian dollars, euros. You can work those out. You can go into Google and just type out £73.50 GBP in US dollar or in Australian dollar or in Canadian dollar. It'll convert it for you instantly. So you'll be able to see what the conversion is. It might be similar in your country, I don't know. But that equals £25 per week of a food budget. So that's for eating dates, bananas, persimmon, pineapple. So not a bad variety there, which gives a food budget per year of £1,300. So a raw food diet, okay, this is a fruitarian type diet. I wouldn't say that this is all I would eat, but let's say it was. £25 per week is possible. £1,300 per year for a food budget. Now, a person who's on roughly minimum wage in the UK might be earning about £14,000 a year. Obviously take home pay after that might be a bit less and everything, but that's somewhere around about less than 10% of their income in a year. So potentially someone on that could still do a raw vegan diet if they chose to, and it would be 10% of their budget. There's probably not a lot of people that spend less than £25 per week on food. There probably are some, to be fair. And obviously you're going to add in kids, you're going to add in other things, but for a single person, that's what we could look at. But if you were to just do bananas, and do it at the very cheapest with just bananas, which is maybe you think that's a very restrictive diet, but it could be done for £1 per day for 250,000 calories, which is £365 in a year. £365, which is way less than 10%. It's probably more like 3% of someone's yearly income. More expensive it was persimmons from the fruit market, 18.25. So you can see that that's a bit more. So you'd want to base a lot of your raw food diet on bananas if you want to make the biggest saving, and you want to get those bananas from a market. But can you afford, if one of your friends says to you that raw food diet's too expensive, just say to them, can you afford £1 a day? Is £1 a day too much for your health? Is £1 a day too much for reversing illnesses, reversing disease, reducing your weight, getting your energy back, getting your mental clarity back, reducing dramatically your chances of heart disease, cancer, osteoporosis, arthritis, possibly giving you back your vitality in all sorts of ways? £1 a day, £365 per year. There's some people that will pay that in one meal, one restaurant, a few bottles of expensive wine, and so on. Same with the £25 per week for the varied, for all the other fruit. You can imagine people paying that in one meal quite easily. When people say raw food diet's too expensive, £25 per week, or at the very cheapest £1 per day, £30 a month. It's really not expensive at all, is it? But here's where it can be expensive, because if you do it in the wrong way, it can be very expensive. Not the wrong way, but if you do it in the other way. Now, blueberries. This is my writing's probably pretty bad, but blueberries can be £2.50 per 125 grams for a punnet of organic blueberries, which can be 70 from the supermarket, which is 71 calories for £2.50. per calorie, that works as 3 pence per calorie. You need 2,500 if you're the man in that example, at least. And that works out as, by the way, that's 75 times more expensive than the bananas per calorie. 75 times more expensive than than the bananas in the market. For 2,500 calories, £75 per day, which works out for the year as, let's work it out. Let's see if I can still do maths. How do you work out £75 per day? 365. Oh, I'm not sure if I want to do that calculation right now. I should have my calculator with me. But anyway, you can work that out, but you can see how much that is. That's per day, what that is per month. If you go to the market, so you can see that with a raw food diet, you're getting a huge spread of 75, potentially doing £75 per day. Let's just work out the monthly on that. How do you do that? Jeez, I've forgotten maths. You just add on 0, don't you? And then you'd multiply by 3 or something like that. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now because I don't want to embarrass myself with bad math. But it's clearly a lot. It's 3 times that and a 0 in the end. 75, 150, 225, 2,000. So you're talking about 2,500 or so per month of a food budget. 24,000 a year, 26,000 a year. 20. So that's if you're doing it on organic blueberries, you'd have to be pretty rich to do it like that. So that's where it can obviously cost you a lot of money if you do it like that. However, the last point to be made, and I know this has been a long video, but raw food can be grown and picked for free. So regardless of where how much land you have or whatever else, or where you live in the world, you're probably not gonna plant a rice paddy in your garden. And you might plant potatoes, but you have to replant them every year. Raw food can be picked for free if you find places that have trees that have fruit. No one wants to eat it anyway because they want to eat fast food and all the rest of it. But raw food, potentially you can grow it yourself for free. You can pick it for free.